Have you ever heard of the sexual practice kunyaza? Kunyaza means to urinate, but not literally. It's just an expression for female ejaculation, but it's basically a technique that men use to give their women explosive orgasms. The term originates from Rwanda, but the act itself is practiced in multiple African countries such as Burundi, Western Tanzania, Western Uganda, and the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. What's interesting is how this practice centers female pleasure, which is so different to what we're taught in the West. What's also interesting is how this seems to be a key aspect of masculinity for Rwandan men, as not being able to sexually satisfy your woman is seen as an unmanly thing. What's even more interesting is how the existence of this practice challenges the Western notions of black female sexuality. And I'll tell you why. Kunyaza is linked to labia elongation, which is very popular in Rwanda, as well as other African nations and tribes, especially in Southern Africa. Labia elongation is said to make sex more satisfying for men and women and is a normal part of womanhood for those who practice it. Girls will even help pull each other's labias as a form of bonding. There are patriarchal reasons behind it which are problematic, but my point is that it is normal and is even seen as sexy in many African cultures. One of the main attractions to Sarah Bartman was her elongated labia. She represents the black female body propped up as an antithesis to the white female one. Her bodily features and her anatomy represented the quote-unquote sexual primitive nature of black women, which is obviously untrue, because many pre-colonial African notions on female sexuality, femininity and beauty differed from European ones. Then it clicked to me that black women are hypersexualized in the West, not because we are actually hypersexual, but because white women have a long history of being sexually suppressed by their men. While women in Africa were having mind-blowing orgasms, white women were being told that their orgasms are a mental illness. I know that patriarchy is everywhere and there are many African countries which sexually suppress their women also. But my point is that black women really need to start looking outside of the West for representations of black female sexuality and femininity in order to liberate us from the harmful rhetorics that we have been conditioned to believe about ourselves. And kunyaza is a great start. It represents black female sexuality in a good light. It centers our sexual gratification and pleasure. It represents sexual equality despite overarching patriarchal beliefs. And it helps us to view our bodies outside of a white gaze.